Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 34 female, have a younger brother, technically half, from my mom who is 26, and he is getting married. My brother's dad and my mom were engaged for a couple of years when my brother came along. When he was 1, my mom found out his dad was cheating. His dad packed up and moved in with the other woman and married her 3 years later. My brother split his time with us and with his dad equally. It was always awkward when we were around his dad and his dad's wife. She was always super hostile to my mom and super insulting to her. My mom kept her mouth shut through it all. She did not fight back. She would try to keep my brother out of the middle. But my brother knew all about it. When my brother turned 21, he had this big birthday party and we were all there. During the party, his dad's wife called my mom yesterday's news and said she wasn't the kind of woman a guy marries. My mom fired back that at least she didn't sleep with men in relationships with others. My brother heard the entire exchange, but scolded mom for what she said. Mom got so upset that she quickly left. I asked my brother how he could let his dad's wife talk to mom like that, but only scold mom. He said mom has always been better than that, and he expects it to continue. I told him he wasn't a little boy anymore, and shouldn't expect mom to always accept the hate, and that I was going to leave because I didn't feel like celebrating him at that moment. He asked me not to leave, but I told him I couldn't stay when he let mom be disrespected like that. My mom had to change her number and her email addresses to get away from the insults the other woman sent her. She would not leave her alone, and was even using other people's phones to send crap. Once she no longer had the number, it was a relief for mom. No more blocking numbers left and right. My brother knows this, yet when he got engaged, he said he wanted both moms to walk him down the aisle before his fiancée was walked by her parents. The first words out of the other woman's mouth was how he'd have one real classy woman next to him on that day. My brother said nothing, and my mom told him she wasn't going to do it. She told him she was fine with letting the B win, since apparently he preferred her anyway. Mom was upset. My brother was upset. He was also mad at mom. When he was venting to me about it and saying mom should do better by him and understand he can't just treat the other woman like crap, I told him he can let the other woman treat mom like crap though. He tried to argue. I said to forget it. I told him to expect an RSVP no from my family, husband and kids, for the wedding. I told him there was no way I was going to act civil to the crappy person he kept defending, and there was no way I wanted us supporting him. He begged me to reconsider, and he told me he wanted my kids to be in the wedding. I sent the RSVP no anyway. He sent a million texts about how unfair I was being after my response got back to him. Am I the a-hole? Poor OP's mom. I can't imagine how painful it is to be treated like this by your own son. It should be unacceptable that his stepmother, a woman to whom no one owes anything, trashes his own mother in his presence, and he not only allows it, but also resents that his mother actively defends herself against such treatment. I think OP should invite her mom on the trip on the day of the wedding with her family, so she can spend it with people who love her and stand by her. He chose this outcome. He is getting married. He should be able to understand action and consequences by now. And now let's hear the community's opinion. 3 says, this is what happens when women try to hide the truth from their kids about a divorce. They think taking the high road is better, until their selfish child that they birthed does something like this. I feel really bad for the bio mom, and hope her son can see things clearly one day. Ratchet Goth Chick says, not the a-hole. The brother needs to start acting like an adult and telling stepmom to back off and stop talking crap. I feel bad for his soon-to-be spouse. If he lets his mother get treated this way, who knows how he'll let his spouse be treated? He's too emotionally immature to be getting married or making demands out of anyone. Mustang says, not the a-hole. Little Lord Fauntleroy has got exactly what he deserved by alienating his real mother. I wouldn't go any way either. Hopefully, when she starts complaining at the wedding, some gallant person will give her the cake treatment. My parents divorced when I, 17 male, was a baby. My dad had met his wife and decided he wanted to be with her and not my mom. It was messy, I'm sure. From the time I was 11 months old, my parents were sharing custody of me with an even 50-50 split for parenting time. Back when I was a baby or toddler and learning to speak, my dad's wife thought it would be a good idea to taunt mom with the information that I had said mama for the first time at dad's house, and I had said it to her. I've seen the messages because my mom had a folder to prove a hostile co-parenting environment. My dad's wife told her that she was always going to be the first mama, and the most important one, since she got to hear it for the first time. Things were so tense between my parents that it got bad enough that the court ordered they shouldn't have contact unless both parties agreed. That way, I wouldn't be caught in the middle. My mom asked my dad if they could both take me for my first day of school. He said no, and said his wife was going to be doing it with him because she was my real mom. Dad's wife sent texts to my mom about the day and saying everyone was complimenting her on how great her son is, etc. She admitted they talked over me when I was going to say something about her and how I forgot about her after that. Stuff like that happened a lot, and my mom has this folder which proves it all. I read the folder when I was 12. My mom was upset that I'd found it, but also relieved that I knew what she had gone through with them. When I was younger and I felt uncomfortable at my dad's house because I could not mention mom at all, and they always talked about dad's wife being my mom. I told this to a person who interviewed me when my mom took my dad to court. My dad ended up losing custody for 2 years because of it, but won it back by taking classes assigned by the court. Then we got a new judge who refused to let me choose where to live at 14 and again at 16. This was even after saying nothing had really changed. They just got better at not leaving physical proof. But the judge wanted physical proof. Texts, emails, letters. Last weekend I mentioned my mom to someone and Dad's wife jumped in, acting like I was talking about her. When we were alone, I told her she knows I'm not talking about her and to stop it. She was visibly annoyed by that and told me I have 2 moms and should be proud of that. I told her I don't have 2 moms and would never be proud to call her my mom because she is nowhere near as good as my mom. I told her I know it bothers her that I don't call her mom. I said it was what she deserved for the whole mama thing when I was a baby. I made sure I taunted the point that she will never hear me call her mom. My dad was furious at me for talking to his wife like that. His wife was acting like she was about to cry for days after and told me it really hurt her feelings that I was so spiteful toward her. It was hell for the rest of that week. Am I the a-hole? I think she wants to be OP's mother just to hurt OP's bio mom, not because she actually loves OP. She's not OP's mother and has no right to force OP to call her that. OP just gave her a taste of what OP's mom has put up with for 17 years from both OP's stepmom and dad. They sound so toxic. And now let's hear the community's opinion. BooCat3 says, not the a-hole. She's getting a good dose of what she dished out to your mom all those years. Tell your dad that he and his wife were good teachers on how to be spiteful. Be happy that soon you can cut them out of your life for good. NoKale3800 says, not the a-hole. Respect, love, and adoration are earned, not owed, even with parents. Good on your part to stand your ground. You did it away from others without making a scene in front of others, and that's mature of you. You can't be subjected to a lifetime of manipulation and not expect retaliation. Complex Equation says, if I were you, I would never refer to her as stepmom or stepmother. I would always call her by her name. And when correcting her in front of others, I would say, her name is not my mom. She's only my father's wife, not the a-hole. I, 34 female, have been with my boyfriend, 37 male, for 5 years, living together for 3.5 years, with my stepdaughter, 7 female, who we'll call Jess, 50% of the time, basically alternating days at our place and her mom's. Jess has the code to our house because it is her home too. Every once in a while, but lately more often, her mom has been forgetting to get Jessica stuff, like skis or skates, when neither my boyfriend or I are home. The time before last, his ex said Jess's skis are at our place. He told her to wait until I got home from work, about 20 minutes. I did leave early, and I would go downstairs and grab them. Jess is too small to carry her skis and all her gear herself. When I arrived, they were already in the house. Both my boyfriend and I were unhappy about this, but his ex had stayed upstairs at the door. We didn't have the skis. They were at his ex's house. Today, Jess had a skating field trip with her mom. We didn't know about it. Jess and her mom came in our place, and Jess said they looked everywhere together. Her mom did end up calling my boyfriend, but he had terrible cell service. The skates were in our bedroom. Jess told me today that her mom handed her the green bag with her skates, which meant that his ex was inside our bedroom, would have had to have walked in our room, around the bed to the closet. When Jess said that, I was very surprised and said, "Your mom was in our bedroom?" Jess backtracked, saying that her mom just stood at the door looking inside for the skates and that Jess had actually grabbed the bag. I don't know if this is dramatic, but I feel very violated over this. She went into our home without permission, and not only that, into our bedroom. Would I be the a-hole if I said his ex is no longer allowed in our house? His mom lives less than a block away, and I was thinking of saying that if his ex needs to pick something up, she would meet his mother at our house and wait outside. Jess is always allowed in, but his ex is not. I feel very strongly that it is my home and my safe space. After I moved in, he did have to set a lot of boundaries with his ex, like not just walking into our house as if she still lived there and taking a seat in the living room. She wouldn't even knock. I don't understand why a 7-year-old needs to know the code to a house. She is 7. She shouldn't be at home alone. I would suggest changing the code and installing nanny cam. Jess is obviously too young to understand boundaries when it comes to OP's home and her birth mother. Weakness Responsible For says, I would absolutely insist she not step into my home without an invitation again. She abused Jess's access to the code. What's more, I would set up a couple of nanny cams to ensure she respects the new rule. She's not going to take it well. She sounds highly invasive and the type to want to get away with pushing your boundaries. Honestly, it's like she's marking territory by proving to herself she can invade at will. Miffle What says, not the a-hole. It is not unreasonable at all to feel the way you do. And having your mom instead of her come in seems appropriate. I don't think it's inappropriate at all to teach Jess that she's not allowed to have anyone in the house, including her mom, when you're not home, without clearing it first. Love Beach 8 says, not the a-hole. You both were violated, and she knew that you wouldn't approve. So did Jess, so she's partially at fault. Why do you think she backpedaled? Your boyfriend needs to reset those boundaries. You both should also get security cameras and a system that would allow you and your boyfriend to unlock the door with your mobile devices instead of Jess. You can see who is at the door and entering your home. I, 15 female, screamed at my parents for trying to pay off the loan my brother, 19 male, had taken from the bank to purchase a new car that he can't pay back. I know that they are just trying to help my brother get on his feet now that he's left home, but it has been my dream since I was very little to be a pilot, and the training for it is very costly. So every little piece of money I've made, I've been putting into a bank account to save. I've even started working 2 jobs of babysitting and helping out in a local cafe. 2 weeks ago, my brother bought himself a brand new car with a loan he got from the bank, and now he is telling my parents he can't pay it back. He doesn't have a job, and my parents pay for his college accommodation. When I heard this, I didn't think much about it, and offered to bring his CV into a couple of places in town and see if he could get a job. Last night, my parents told me that they were going to take the money from my account to pay for his loan, and I was furious with them. I screamed and called them a-holes and said they didn't care about me at all because they never supported my dreams. I'm the only girl in my family with a younger and older brother. I haven't spoken to my parents since then. I feel like all my work has gone down the drain, and I will never get to accomplish my dream. My relationship with my brother was good before this, and I know that his bad financial decisions were not intended to harm me. But I'm still angry with him and my parents for behaving like this. Nubs the cat says, absolutely ducking not the a-hole. What the actual duck is wrong with your parents? You worked for and saved that on your own. I am so sorry and ashamed on your parents' behalf. You are more mature than your brother and parents combined. Start hiding the money you make where they can't find it. You will go far, OP. This is a setback, but with your determination, you will rise above all these a-holes in life. My heart goes out to you, not the a-hole. Alien Overlord 1001 says, not the a-hole. Your parents are doing the wrong thing by you and by him. They should let him default on the loan and have the car repossessed. It's not nice, but he needs a dose of reality. I'm querying, what kind of bank loans money to someone who can't pay it back? If he has no job, how did they think they were getting this money back? Was it a bank or something more shady? Darling Gem says, not the a-hole for screaming. I would have gone down the route of threatening to call the police and report theft if they even tried. So, you're more restrained than me. Contact your bank and express your concerns, and see if they have any options to be able to support and protect your money from your parents. Also, surely the bank would have needed proof of ability to repay a loan, which your brother would have had to provide, e.g., employment.